Hello everyone, good evening. We are on our third edition of our live session, and today we cannot wait to have you in the session. I'm excited. We're hosting a people and performance specialist, someone that you want to meet. I'm sure you must have seen her flyer, but have you actually visited her social media platforms? Have you seen her LinkedIn? Have you seen, mostly her LinkedIn. So we thought carefully about who should we invite for this session, and we are very pleased at our selection. So before Victoria joins us, I think let's discuss. She's having some technical issues. Hi, Sage. Hello, Ademide. Martin, hello. How are you doing? Before we jump into our session, which is influence or confidence, or it's the other way around, confidence versus influence, which one actually wins? Let's have a conversation. Victoria is joining us soon, but let's have a conversation. When we look at confidence versus influence, hello Sage, my name is Promise from Crosstie Solutions. I have been the host for this session, and hopefully one day you see another face, but for now you would see me a lot of times. Hi Sage, is your name Sage? Did I get it correctly? Would you want to share your name with us in the chat box? So when we look at confidence and influence, these are two very important factors to have in the workplace. Good to have you too, Sage. These are two very important factors in the workplace. But which of them actually wins? Wins in the sense that we're not talking about office politics here. We're talking about which of them drives performance, which of them is able to, carry a team better. Oh, hi, Darius Sage. Yes, your name reflects that. So which of them is able to... Darius Sage, I hope you're going to stay with us till the end of this session. Our speaker is joining us soon. She's having some technical issues, but she'll be joining us very soon. So, which of them actually wins? We have people that are confident. They're confident in their jobs, confident in what they are actually able to do. And then we have those that may not be so confident, but they are influential. They are able to... Okay, Dari, I see Victoria recruited some people. Okay, well, we are all waiting for her then. So we have quite a number of should I say, a number of things that either confidence or influence does. So we're trying to know which one actually wins in the workplace. Is it the confident person, or is it the influential person? We're still waiting for Victoria to join us. She is going to let us in on that. Personally, I would choose both, because I feel like influence has to work with confidence. Like, how am I able to influence people if I'm not confident in myself? Yeah, I think both of them work, but feel free to drop your comments in the comment section. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Today is going to be an interactive one. Victoria, she doesn't play at all. we hate that technical issues have to happen. We hate that, but we're still waiting. I am excited. Well, brief story about how I met Victoria though. Let me do a little bit of paparazzi into the speaker before she joined us. I remember connecting with Victoria, I think about the time when she still worked at Beacon Gates, and I was enthralled by, I think I practically saw everything. I'm talking about our speaker. I practically saw everything. I saw the confidence in her posts. I saw the way it was like Victoria was everywhere on my LinkedIn. And so I had to learn quite a number of things from her. I learned the kind of influence she exuded even without getting to meet her. And then I met her at one of the HR conferences. I just knew this was, yes, Beacon Gate before she moved to TVC. So I met her first in person at one of the conferences, and before she could introduce herself to me, it was actually quite funny that I was walking up to her. I was like, I know this face. I know this face. And then I was walking up to her, and she said, "Oh, hi, I said Victoria." I was like, okay. I said, "I know you. You are everywhere on my LinkedIn feed." I think Victoria is like a practical example of confidence, even without people meeting you. No, I said confidence, sorry, influence, even without people meeting you in person. Like the influence I saw when I saw that she won top 30 HR leaders, I was like, well deserved. Well deserved. This is well deserved. And so when we brought up this topic, we realized that, people actually struggle with this in the workplace, struggle to align confidence with influence. They struggle to see which of them is going to work better. If I am confident in a team, if I'm confident in the team that I am, if as a leader I have confidence, in the work that I do, in my deliverables, is it enough to get my team members to get work done? What else do I need? Do I need confidence, or do I need influence? Today we are dissecting all that. So quite a lot of questions that we are going to be asking Victoria today. We're going to see what confidence means in the context of people and performance. We're going to see how confidence is not enough to lead people. What else do you have? We're going to see, is confidence, or should I say is influence? Okay, Victoria is here. Hi, Victoria. Can you please request to join? Okay, I've seen your request. We have one of your...
Hi, good evening. I don't know why my light is not so bright. Sorry. Please.
Oh, we would have loved to see your face better.
Do bear
Hi,
with me. I
Victoria.
just hope that you can see my face. So sorry. Good evening.
Yeah, no problem. I had to explain to our audience that you had some technical issues. You
So
had issues with
sorry.
joining us.
Thank
No
you.
problem at
Thank
all.
you.
We're happy to have you. I took my time to speak to our audience to let them know how I met you. I had mentioned that before you moved to TVC, while you were still at Beacon Gates, I saw the influence in your posts. Whenever I open, I think I connected with you shortly, and whenever I open my LinkedIn, I'm going to see Victoria. Oh, Victoria posted 8 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 2 hours ago. And in the amount of engagement, I was like, who is this? Who is Victoria? I took my time. I must have gone through your profile like 4 or 5 times. Like, who is this? Who is Victoria? But I'm sure that those that have joined us and those that are joining us who would like to get to know you. So please, before we start, thank you for joining us once
I'm
again
happy.
for
I'm
this
happy to
live
be here.
session on confidence versus influence, which one actually wins. We have one of your favorites already in the session. I don't know if it's a he or she, but they said they are here because of you. I couldn't be more excited.
I'm delighted. Thank you.
So let's get to know you, Victoria. Who is Victoria?
Okay. Thank you once again, Promise. I want
All
to
right.
say thank you to the management of Crosstie for having me. I am honored, really. For sessions like this, you want to believe that, oh, maybe it's our top leaders that they will call, but sincerely from the depth of my heart, I am honored to be here. So, Victoria Erhahi is a simple lady, a jovial, fun, loving lady who likes to take things one step at a time. I'm an HR professional. I love being an HR professional because HR is an impactful job. I have about over a decade of experience, just a little over a decade of experience in human resource. It's been a learning curve. It's been one level of improvement to the other. So literally, I am a regular person who just happened to be in HR. So that's that's the much about Victoria.
It's is the humility. Is this is not you. This is not. I think they call it a subtle brag. You're not saying too much.
No,
Okay, we know you're so much more than that, but let's go into it. Let's get into it. So we're debating on this confidence versus influence. Which one actually wins? And we had this sort of conversation, with my peer group, and we felt like it's like saying having money versus having influence. I mean, it can't be the same. That man, or there's always this one man in a village that can bring the whole village together.
together,
Yeah,
yes.
but he probably does not have. He's probably like not very wealthy, but he's able to bring the whole village together. But then there's also this person in the village that has everything, that has all the money. But when he calls for a meeting, people are sluggish. They're thinking, ah, well, let me go. Maybe he's going to share bags of rice. You get. So we're looking at it now in people and performance, in the workspace. Which of these actually wins? And we have series of questions that we hope to, finish up in say about 40 to 45 minutes.
It's all right.
So let's get into it. In the context of people and performance, which you are a specialist in, what does confidence mean to you? And what does influence mean to you?
Okay, thank you very much. So permit me, I'm going to use very easy terms, very
Okay?
easy um, English for everyone to understand. Confidence is the ability to do things right
Mm,
and the way you carry yourself while doing it. As simple as that. Of course, there's a dictionary definition to confidence, but we're not going to look into that because we're dealing with practicality here. The way you carry yourself, the way you do things, and the way you carry yourself. Let me give an example. I know something very well. I am very good at it, but I don't know how to talk. I don't know how to explain. But someone who has confidence, he doesn't know that thing very well. He or she just comes and say, "Oh, this thing is like this thing is like this." Who would you listen to? Of course, the other person who really doesn't know it, but he has the ability to carry himself in that light. He has the ability to, he has the courage, you know. So that is what confidence does. Now, influence. Um, while growing up in my career, I used to think that influence is the ability to get someone to do something. And then something happened in my organization some time ago, not where I currently work. I was made to understand that confidence is the ability to get people to do something, whether positive, sorry, influence rather, is the ability to get people to do something, whether positive or negative. You might think that, oh, because I have an influence on someone, it could be a negative influence I have on that person. So influence comes in two variants. You having the power to make someone do something, either positive or negative. Now, in the light of what we're discussing today, confidence versus influence, what will win? In relation to my job, in relation to people, in relation to performance, I would say that you cannot do one without the other. You can have influence and your confidence level is low. It is important that you understand the power you have so you know how to deploy it, especially with us who deal with people on a regular basis. We always say that there's a thin line between confidence and being brash. Now, there's another definition to influence, which says that the power you have to make people do things, whether positive or negative. Now, I am in the profession of managing people. So, I want to focus on the positive side. In terms of it, for example, coming up with initiative in your organization. If you don't have influence in terms of stakeholder management, my dear, your initiative will struggle. No matter how
Yeah.
confident you are, you can go and meet your boss and say, this is a very good initiative, your slides were good, but you have bad influence. People don't like you. Leadership of the organization don't like you. You are going to struggle. So, in the business of people management, you need confidence and you also need influence. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Victoria. I was about to cut you to say, hey, we don't want everyone that is watching the session to, learn everything all at once. I'm sorry, there's an echo from your end. I don't know if
Oh,
it's from your end. Would
just
you
hold
like
on.
to? Okay, would you like to mute and then unmute? So I think if you mute and then
Is it
unmute,
better now?
yes,
Okay.
yes. Oh, I can still hear it.
Oh, really? Is it like, okay, let me mute and unmute.
Okay.
Is it better?
Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, this is better. This is so much better.
Thank you.
So, the next question I wanted to ask you, but you've answered it already. I
Mhm.
wanted to ask the point where you realized confidence was not enough to lead people, but you answered it already. You said you came across a situation in your organization, not the first one, not the one you currently are in, but then you realize that influence was very important. So I think I would not want to go too personal on that.
No, no
So
problem. I could
let's.
share. I could
Oh,
share.
please, please, please
Okay,
share.
so
Please share.
I joined this organization newly as the HR of the organization. Meanwhile, before I came, there were already, HR professionals that were there. But I was the one to manage, like lead the HR team. Of course, I was just coming. There was this particular lady who had always been in that role before I joined. So she was moved to another department, but her influence was so strong. Uh, when I mean her influence was so strong, whether positive or negative. Are you still here, Promise?
Yes, I am. I'm actually here.
Okay,
I just had to mute to reduce the echo, but I'm here.
no problem. So our influence was so strong. I just got in. I had not, built relationship with people. I was just, finding my feet in the organization. This thing I'm telling you, within my first 2 months. So there was something that happened, and then my boss told me to speak to that lady. And I spoke to her to the best of my knowledge, but she misinterpreted what I said and, told our colleagues that I said this and I said that. Thank God there is a WhatsApp stage to, back that up. But do you know that nobody was ready or willing to look at the WhatsApp conversation between the two of us? She told everybody what she assumed I meant or what she assumed I said. Do you know that people hated me for that? If I
Wow.
give an instruction, she would say, nobody should do it. Trust me, nobody will do it. That's influence. It is negative, right? I called with
Yes, it
somebody
is.
one day and I told the person that I literally don't understand what is happening, but can I explain myself? The first thing she told me is that go and make peace with so and so. And I was like, I was never quarreling with her in the first place. I would be giving a training or a presentation. She can just whisper something to somebody's ear, and that one will whisper that same thing to another person's ear, and that one will whisper that same thing to another person's ear, and everybody will be distracted. They will just be laughing. No matter what I say, they were not paying attention. So I had to bring the matter up with my boss then. I'm like, I literally don't understand what is going on. I don't know where this came from. That was where my boss broke down influence and power for me. I think she told me to go and read a book, that I'm an HR person, this is a problem, and I have to find a way to solve it. So it dawned on me. I'm telling you that I was the one leading the HR team, but it didn't look like I was the one leading the HR team. She started the organization with my boss then. So I had little influence. She started the organization with my boss. She had taught a lot of people what they know. Whenever we're having fun Friday and we're saying, oh, what are you grateful for? Everybody is saying, oh, I'm thankful to this person. I'm thankful to this person. I'm thankful to this person for helping me. And now that was where it dawned on me. I'm like, this lady has influence. And if I
Yeah.
want to survive in this organization, I have to find a way to break her hatred for me. She might be junior to me, but I had to find a way to break it because it was affecting our job. It was affecting literally everything. So that was when it dawned on me that influence can be positive or negative. That was the scenario that happened that actually changed my notion about influence.
Okay. I'm sorry. Nigeria just happened to me.
Oh, so sorry. I understand.
Yeah, we had
I understand.
sorry, we had power outage, and but I am still here.
No,
So
no,
just give me a
oh,
few minutes. I'm going to turn on my video, but we are still going to converse.
no
We are
problem.
still
It's
going
all
to
right.
converse. So we're not taking any time out. So
No
you
problem.
know what you just shared. Recently it's I discussed this with a so I discussed this with a friend, and I talked about you know, the point where you are around some people that have influence. And I see some people not understanding. I don't know if you've read this book about the laws of power.
Yes, the
So
laws,
I think quite a
irrefutable
number of
laws of
people should
power.
read. Sorry?
I said irrefutable laws of power.
Yes. So I think a lot of people should read it. I see some people trying to be rebellious around people of power and people of influence. And I said, you do not know what you are doing. I mean, your case was different. This person just, sprang up on you because of something you may have done without think, or maybe something you may have done or may not have even known you were doing.
Yeah.
So, but I find it quite funny when I see people try to be rebellious around people of influence, people of power. I'm like, you really don't know what you are doing. These people can make your life very miserable. And being at peace with people that are influential or people that are powerful doesn't always mean that you are weak.
True.
I mean,
Very
it
true.
doesn't always mean that you can't be powerful because they also have power. I mean, power is relative for me. So it doesn't always mean that you can't be powerful because they have power. Power can always be shared. It doesn't mean that you can't be influential because you know because they are influential.
Yeah.
You can have your own influence. So I think this is like a very important lesson for people to learn. But I mean, let's just jump into the next question.
Okay.
So you clearly broke down, you said one cannot exist without the other. Confidence cannot exist without influence. Influence should not exist without confidence. But when it comes to performance in the workplace,
Yeah.
which of these should come first before the other?
Okay. Now, one of the first things you want to look at is how you do your job, the quality of what you look at, of what you're doing, and your deliverables, how you deliver your job. And that would be dancing around the corners of confidence. You want to be sure. There are people who actually know how to do their job, but people literally don't know if they exist in the organization. Especially for people in our space, HR. You cannot survive in HR if you don't have confidence. If you don't have the level of confidence to manage yourself and also deploy on your job and also give the best on your job. Now, while doing that, you would definitely build influence. You will gain grounds. That's why when I started this conversation, I said you cannot do one without the other. But there are levels to these things. It's just like saying, oh, when you go for interviews, the first things people would look at is how you comport yourself, how you talk, how you explain what you have done, how you share your experiences, your output. It's around the corners of what's it called, confidence. So it is important that we learn how to be confident about what we do, how we do it, because confidence always has a way of playing out in our general role. Confidence has a way of making people rely on us. Confidence has a way of making your boss say, oh, I can go to sleep. I know that Victoria can handle this. Before we even get to the part of, oh, is she influential? Is she this? Is she that? Now, as you continue to grow on your job, as you continue to build capacity and competence, it is important that you start building good relationship, good rapport with people. You need to ensure that you have good stakeholder management. Let me give an example to this. In that same organization where I used to work, I was just a professional. I was a professional, a good professional who comes to the office, does her job, and then go back home. Um, Whoever needs to get maybe query at some point gets a query. I just move on with my job. I do my job, do what is required of me, and then go home. But when it came to influence, there were gaps in influence because I was also a senior staff and I had other employees who were senior staff even before I came. We could be having a conversation, and I'll let them know that this is what HR rule is about. I'm a professional. I don't do this. I don't do that. That was confidence at play, right? But in terms of influence, I wasn't gaining much ground. Guess what? When I bring initiatives to the table, sometimes it doesn't even see the light of day. because my stakeholders, I don't have influence on my stakeholders. I don't have a strong influence on my stakeholders to make them back me up. So there was a particular lady who is a confidant to my boss. If there's an initiative or whatever that is going to happen in the organization, my boss runs it by her. And because I had not gained that much influence, sometimes she just say, I beg all this HR professionalism perfect. There's a way she would just put it to my boss and it would just kill her spirit. And my boss might just say, let's move it, let's leave it. But as I began to grow and I began to understand, I said, Victoria, come on. You would just see, you think you're excelling at your job. You need to build good influence and stakeholder relationship with literally everybody. Before I left that organization, I'm telling you, I don't see, you can never ever find me quarrel or have misunderstanding with anybody when I understood what the power of influence could do for me. Every initiative I brought to the table, I knew how to find my way to the head of account. I knew how to find my way to the head of auditors. I knew how to find my way to the head of operations. I knew how to find my way to the head of business. I would cajole them. I would speak to them. I would explain what it was before I even go to the management. And trust me, by the time, because I had built influence, cordial relationship, I know how to manage them. Most of my initiative were just flying high. Most of them were flying high. So I now told myself that, Victoria, you said that professionalism and confidence didn't even get you all the results you thought you would get. You needed to be able to understand these people, how they work, what they need part-time, and then use it to your advantage to impact the organization positively. So when I learned that, I said, by the time I was leaving, what one of the senior executives told me that he said, you're taking the spirit of this organization with you. And I was happy that I could get such remark because I had learned how important confidence was and how to use influence and my confidence to gain positive advantage. So it is important we learn that it is a gradual process. You need confidence to be able to do something, because if you say, oh, I'm an influential person, you cannot gather people without some level of confidence. So as you grow on your job, you gain confidence, yes, but there is a level of influence you need to be able to create impact. Thank you.
So we have less than 20 minutes, and I just want to quickly ask about two, three questions.
Okay.
So I'm actually riding on, this conversation you had, where you clearly mentioned that it took you a while to find your feet in influence, and you had to learn a lesson to understand that confidence is actually not enough,
Yes.
and you need influence. What would
Yes.
you say, as a people leader? You see people in your team that are naturally confident, but they struggle to influence people. Based on your experience, what would you say they are missing? What is that
Okay.
secret ingredient that they need to gain influence?
Okay. Sometimes it could actually be a gap in personality. A lot of people feel that when I am a confident person, people should take me the way I am. No, even your being confident is a threat to people. So you yourself need to know how to manage yourself. There was a particular statement my former boss told me, which has also helped me say, manage yourself, manage your environment, and manage your boss. A lot of people who are confident, they struggle with managing their environment. And your environment could be the people around you. They struggle with also managing them. That you are confident does not mean you have respect. That you are confident does not mean you know how to talk to people. That you are confident does not mean people will like you. Naturally, in the scheme of things, people are threatened by confident people.
That's
So the
true.
ability for you, that is the confident one, to make people comfortable around you is the skill most of them lack. And in corporate world will call that good stakeholder relationship. He or she doesn't like me because I'm confident. No. You remember I mentioned that I was always the professional. I do my job straightforward. I come up with initiative. If this is how we should go, this is how we should be. And the other person will just be looking at me by the corner and I'll be like, this one does not even know anything about HR. But at the end of the day, because they had more influence than myself, it did. So most of my initiative as at that time didn't work. So one of the skill and a confident person must learn to have is the ability to manage their self and also manage other people. And it sometimes has to do with, the humility to take some steps back and allow another person. I have been in situations where I know something very well. There are times we will do competition in the office, maybe like all these games and all that. I know that if I step in, maybe if I lead, I will win. But guess what? I will choose my weakest link and I'll be cheering that person on. You can do it. I'll be giving them, tips. Trust me. I kept doing that for different persons because I realized that for every competition of fun things we were doing, I shouldn't be the only person. And you being the only person who was doing it will only create more enemies for you. So what I was doing was that I allowed people, even though I knew I had the confidence to do it. There was a particular time we were told to read a book in the organization. One of the HR initiative was that we were to read a book, and they paired us like, let's say, a strong. That was how they paired it. For other team, they allowed the strong person to do the entire presentation. But for my team, the person who did the introduction was the weaker person. The person who said this one was the other weaker person. So if they want to make mistake, I'm like, no, Victor, I said, don't worry, go on. I know you can do it. Do you know that my boss used that as an example to other team members? And that boosted confidence in the people in my team. Don't just say, because if I had done confident alone, is it not Victoria? See, you'll be building enemies. One of the things, and sometimes it comes with personality. If you know the different personality, the phlegmatic, the melancholy,
The
what's the other,
sanguine,
sanguine,
choleric, yeah.
especially choleric people. We are naturally confident,
Very overconfident.
and our problem is managing it. So that thing
Yeah.
always leads to anger. Let's take, for example, you're in a meeting. You know that you know it. They called somebody else and not you. It will show on your body that they did not call you. Why did they call the other person? So a lot of time, confident people struggle with that particular act. Allowing others, even though, let people make the mistakes. Yes, maybe you were a natural leader. You know this thing, leaders are born or whatever. Maybe you were born with it. Yes, we know that. Confident people struggle with it. And again, another thing is that confident people don't like to fail. So when they fail, it makes them lose their self. You need to learn to manage yourself as a confident person. You need to know how to talk as a confident person. You need to know how to build relationship as a confident person. When I am having a conversation with you, it shouldn't look like I want to override you. It shouldn't look like it is only about my idea. So
Yeah.
one of the things confident people should learn is knowing how to manage themselves and then start building good, impactful relationship with your colleague. You guys don't have to be best of friends, but respect for people's skills, respect for people's knowledge, and respect for people's space. And you start hearing people saying, yes, so Emeka knows this thing, but he knows how to also respect people. And that would also help his influence level to go high.
Thank you so much. I can't believe we are on the same page. Like we are totally on the same page. it always brings, when we have these conversations, it brings me back to conversations that, I've had with quite a number of people. And then, that respect for people's knowledge, respect for people's journey, because before that influential person got there, you do not understand their
At all.
journey.
At
For
all.
you, for you to be able to build relationships and get to that point where you can, actually carry influence, you have to even understand their journey and respect it. It is very important. Um, Based on what you said, you've mentioned quite a number of things. You mentioned self-management, you mentioned time management. Do you know that this is a skill gap that, we people think, some people think, influence, personal effectiveness, all of that is, probably, a technical skill. Influence is like a lot of, it's actually a soft skill. It's a soft skill, and this is like a skill gap that, should I say, in I'm trying to look for the term we use in management consulting, and training, but I can't remember the term. So you mentioned quite a lot of skill gaps. Do you know that next week we are running a training? It's almost as if you knew, because I know you do not know. We have a training on personal effectiveness and influencing skills, and each one of the skill gaps that you mentioned is like, it's part of the modules for that session. But you
Wow.
don't. Now
Wow.
that we think of, now that I think about it, it's almost like
So
but
this is what they say, the spirit is one.
yes. But I'm very sure you don't know, and it's quite funny. I think that's the part where I want to say we are aligned. And then when you mentioned the choleric and all that, we call it in management consulting language. We call them the disc personality. I'm sure you've heard about that. Have you
Yes, of
done?
course.
Of course, you've done your disc
DISC.
personality
Yes,
assessment.
yes.
Yeah, you did that. So we call that the disc personality, where you see the D. Very confident
Boldness.
people.
Yeah.
Very confident people. But it's quite funny, they like to say the I has more influence than the D.
Yeah.
The D's can be quite confident, quite bossy, but then you actually need to be an I to be able to build
Ex-
those relationships that
Exactly.
would influence other people. But thank you so
Exactly.
much for sharing. We're going to now get into the point where I believe HR professionals should pay very close attention to.
Mhm.
This is quite, a deep question. I would say, how should performance appraisals reflect qualities like confidence and influence?
Okay. Now, how should performance appraisals reflect qualities like influence and confidence?
Yes.
One of the things I would advise, not just HR professionals, line managers, team leads, people who you deal with people generally, your performance should not be focused on competence alone. Now, if you like your technical competence, I mean, if you understand competency framework, there are different competency levels. We have four of them. There's of course, there's the basic, intermediary, masters, and experts. No, that's not the one I'm talking about. We have we have like the entry level. No, we have, I'm trying to remember. There's the technical part of the competency, there's the business side, there's the leadership part, and there's the behavioral part. So most of the time, what we focus on, the technical part, the business acumen, maybe some form of leadership, but we don't give focus to the behavioral part. I know in terms of quantitative measurement, you cannot measure someone's behavior in terms of numbers. So you have to put measures that are qualitative. You should not focus on, if you want people to, the ability to, build confidence, the ability to build influence. When you're setting goals for these people, when you're setting KPIs for these people, you need to inculcate behavioral competencies that they should have. Maybe if it is someone who struggled to talk to people, if it is someone who struggled to do presentation, for someone like yourself who is in management consulting, you go out to meet with clients, you go out to meet various organizations and all that. If you're working in this organization, your confidence level must be at its peak. So what I am going to advise is that inculcate behavioral KPIs, goals for this person, how you interact with people. If it is someone that, let's say, maybe the overconfident type, that maybe people are always complaining about, that don't know how to talk, you would inculcate goal setting that has to do with minimal. I'm trying to remember the word. Like minimal misunderstandings with people. It
Yeah.
will help the person put his or herself in check.
Mm-hmm.
So behavioral, I was having appraisals recently, and I had to tell someone that you need to watch how you talk to people. Sometimes you come off very brash. So in your KPI, because I'm not the only one who is concerned about that behavioral gap, several people has already mentioned it. So in that person's KPI, it's that particular um goal it is a must, and you keep following up with that person during the period of appraisal. Let's say in Q1, you want to know, oh, I saw the way you spoke to that person, that's not nice. Okay, we went for this business meeting, I realized that you didn't want to say anything because maybe if it was for the shy type. So we do not focus on technical competencies alone. We also need to give focus on behavioral competencies. These are cases where you see that, oh, they say someone is a toxic person or has toxic traits. Because we just feel that they know the job, let them continue to do the job. But there are behavioral gaps that needs to be addressed. So in situations where you do not address behavioral gaps, it becomes hydra-headed for us to handle. So my advice to leaders generally is that while we look at the technical side of things, look at the behavioral side of things. It does not just make us better humans, it also makes us better at our job. Like the popular saying go, you can teach someone who has good behavior but a lower technical competencies. But you cannot teach somebody who has a bad behavior and a higher technical competency. So we need to
That's
have
true.
that understanding. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have just three questions. Maybe we could answer it 1 minute and
Okay.
just three questions and we are done for today. I mentioned to the audience before you we came back that I have my pen beside me. I have my recording device because I am learning so much. This has been a very interesting session. So I would like to ask now, as a people and performance specialists, if you had to choose one between confidence or influence to build a high performing team, which of them are you picking and why?
Okay. I would pick both. The reason why is
You
that
have to choose one.
you cannot live, the truth is, as we grow in life, as we grow in our career, you will now understand that you need one particular skill to help you build the other skill. Confidence would help you build influence. Confidence would help you build influence. Whether you're building a positive influence or you're building a negative influence, there are some skills that go pari passu. You need them. As you grow, let's take, for example, an entry level person might have minimal influence but has influence, right? but you need it. At every level of your job, you need some level of competencies in confidence, and you also need same in influence. I remember when I was having um designing competency for C-suit. There were C-suit that was about maybe 5 6 years ago when I was in consulting. I was told to design competency framework. Guess what? At different levels of your competency, there is a level of leadership you need to survive. Whether you're at entry level, or whether you're at intermediate level, whether you're at masters or experts, there is a certain level of confidence and influence we expect you to have. As you move from entry level to intermediate, it will go a little bit higher. As you move from that, it will go a little bit higher. Then at an expert level, we expect your influence level to be at its peak. We
Yeah.
expect your confidence level to be at its peak. The reason why I chose both of them, you cannot leave one without the other. You can be confident in saying rubbish. So as you grow in your career, these two powerful skills would help you create meaningful impact.
Thank you. You mentioned something very huge. We usually talk about these things when we talk to organizations. We say we call it our executive leadership programs, and the personal leadership, the effective leadership, and the complete leadership. In order of from
Yes,
junior level down to mid level, and then sorry, up to mid level, and then up to senior level. And it's the fact that you need leadership at every
every
level, from
yes,
the level below, from the junior level. You need to understand how to lead yourself.
true,
You must lead yourself before you can even advance to the point where you are able to lead others. And then to moving to the mid level, there's even still that that thing about knowing how to lead yourself again while you are leading teams. Leading
true,
yourself, while you're coming up in your career may be easy. But when you are now leading teams, that you get lots of emotional triggers,
true,
all that, you need to understand that leadership of leading yourself and then leading teams. And then for complete leadership, you understand how to lead yourself now as a senior management person, how to lead teams, and how to lead the organization. They are all completely different things. And I could not be more grateful that you pointed that out. Thank you so much. So, two final questions, please, and we're wrapping this up. You gave an advice to leaders, to HR managers, CEOs. I would like you to give an advice as a professional in the people's space. I'd like you to give an advice to young professionals that are struggling with either confidence or influence. One advice that you would give to them. If they're struggling
okay,
to find their voice in the workplace, in either confidence or influence, please give one advice to them.
okay. I would use myself as an example. The truth is, becoming good does not happen in a day. It takes time. Don't want to gain everything in one day, in 1 year. Growth is a process. Allow yourself to go through the phases of growth. Trust me, I have had my moment of failure. I have had my moment of mistakes, and I have learned from them. I did not just start, I did not just become good. Let me use that word. You saw me and you invited me here, but you did not just see me and you invited me here. You've been watching me from afar. So allow yourself to grow. Mistakes are okay. There was something my boss posted, I think this morning. He said, failure is an event, it will pass. You want you 2 years, you are already a thought leader. From where? What thought are you leading? You need to allow yourself. A lot of people struggle. When we're doing interview, we say we interview them. Why do you want to join HR? They say I'm a people's person. I usually laugh. I said, see, don't give me that generalization. Why do you want to join HR? And then when they join HR, 1 year, 2 year, they're already angry that people's wahala are too much. So the truth is, allow yourself. See, all our thought leaders, you mentioned they all did not become perfect in a day. If we even hear some of their stories, we will share it here. But growth is a phase. Learn what you can learn. Stop jumping from one place to the other. Stop. See, the truth is, I know the country is tough for us, but it's not all about the money. If you find yourself in a place where you know that you can learn, please stay there and learn. Except maybe, the environment is not good and all that. But please allow yourself to grow. It's from baby steps. How do they call it? You crawl, from crawling to working.
Mhm.
Allow yourself that phase, and trust me, you will get to know it. I have had moments where I sent wrong documents to the right person, to the wrong person. I've shared, those mistakes we make when in a bid to do your job well, you put
Yeah.
T where you're supposed to put I. See, I'm not saying that we should be making mistakes, no, but it's all part of the learning curve. I could come here and tell you that I had my moment of failure, especially in learning about influence, right? Now I know how to do it right. If I did not fail, or at some point, I would just be coming here to give you book stories. So allow yourself that phase to grow. Events will happen. Because we are in the business of people, you need those events to happen to make you a better person. Imagine an HR who has never been through any tough time. What are you HRing? All bed of roses, sipping tea. HR, you deal with humans. So you need to deal with different human behavior. So that when I'm having conversation with you, I can say, oh, okay, there was a time I dealt with this. This was how I handled it. So allow yourself that phase to grow. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It has been an amazing session. We started with you and we are going to end with you. Last question before we say our goodbyes. Victoria, please share with us, because even I am curious, how do you personally keep confidence and influence aligned in your journey as a leader?
Okay. I'm I'm an intentional person. Let me use that word.
Okay.
And I am someone who is quick to learn, especially in areas where I make mistakes. Sometimes you could think that I'm influencing a right. And then maybe you hear one or two things or some actions, and they're like, I thought, is that not Victoria? Why ABC, ABC? I am an intentional person. Um, I don't force things on people. I don't. If you if you ask people who know me or who I've had to work with, I don't force things on people. Um, I am me. I am a natural person. So I don't try to be who I'm not. You could be a junior person and I tell you, I don't know that, come and teach me. And then I had something recently where I was telling somebody that I didn't know a particular thing. And I was very free about it. I didn't, the person was far my junior. This is somebody calling me mama, mama, mama. I said, I don't know it. Come and teach me. Oh, I would drag my seat from my office to his station. And everybody will be looking at me like, So there was a particular day he needed to help me clean some data. And I realized that if he sits down on his own chair, he will not maybe do it fast. Do you know I told him to come and sit down in my chair, in my office to do it? People were looking at me. Hey! I said, waiting there, not be chair. I said, as far as he's going to help me. So one of the things, so imagine me tomorrow wanting to have an influence on that person. What do you think would happen? It's a I would have a positive influence. And trust me, I could call this person up at 11 p.m. He will pick my call. There was actually an incident that happened last week. I needed his help. I was afraid to call because it was late. I called once at 11:15 p.m. He picked my call and he was up till 1 a.m. to sort it out for me. So one of the things that has helped me is I I admit when I don't know it. I admit when I don't know it. I seek help from the right persons, whether the level is high or whether the level is low. So this has helped me also with my confidence. Imagine a situation whereby because you're a confident person, you don't know something, you cannot ask. And then they now give you a platform. You will goof now. Everybody will be laughing at you. So that has helped me, maintain confidence. That has helped me maintain my influence. I got into TVC newly. There are certain documents that might need explanation. I am not the one who prepared the document. I am the one who reviewed it. Before I will respond to my boss, I will reach back to the person. Please, these are the things I want to send. Based on my review of this document, this is what I understand it to be. Are we in sync? Is this okay? If you were to be the one to send this to my boss, is it okay? And they'll be, of course, I'm a manager. I should have just gone to send, but you can send it and send rubbish. So I have understood that, see, life is not that hard. So I don't want to even make it harder for myself. I know when to, calm down and say, I don't know this thing, help me. When I know it, I know how to share. How did they say? They don't carry position, go heaven. So taking life one step at a time also helps. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Victoria. This has been a wonderful session. I'm very sure if you have, people that you must have seen the skill gaps, I'm sure you can tell them to join our session next week.
Of course.
Please tell them to join our session next week. Our flyer is on our is our the flyer is on our wall. Crosstie Solutions everywhere, LinkedIn, everywhere you go to. We all the soft skills that cover personal effectiveness and influencing skills. You know what? I'm even going to send you the synopsis after this. They have to join this training, and they have to listen to you. This is going to be saved and shared out there for every professional to see. It's targeted to HR professionals, CEOs. Everyone actually in the workspace has to listen to everything you have shared, because these are very practical personal effectiveness skills, and we are so grateful that you joined the session today. Thank you so much, Victoria.
Thank you.
Until next time, I'm definitely going to invite you for another session. Until next time, please enjoy the rest of your evening, and thank you to everyone that joined.
Thank you so
Goodbye
much.
and good night.
Goodbye. Thank you so much, Promise. Thank you to the
Bye.
management of Crosstie. I appreciate it. Take care.
Take care.
Okay, bye.